Guys, how's it going? So, it's a nice sunny day, and getting kind of warm out too. So, but yeah, this will just be kind of a little bit of a ranting video, I guess, kind of thing. Just because, well, we've been having trouble at this border, and it sounds like it's been getting worse over the last few months. There's one over here on the Minnesota side that's abandoned. It's no longer in use because they got the one over on North Dakota side. That's the main one now. So we don't use this one over here anymore, and plus it's been closed for many years. And if I remember correctly, that is actually owned by a private person now. The state doesn't own it, or the government, whatever. They don't own it. Yay, getting mail. So, but I guess they've been having a lot of people crossing over, which is not surprising, considering that it's abandoned and not really being watched all that much. I mean, they do have cameras and sensors and stuff up, obviously, but that's not going to catch them. That's only just going to let the Border Patrol know, hey, somebody crossed. So, but I guess there's been a lot of car traffic going through there, and I mean like literally through there. They're going through the rail yard. So I'm guessing that they're kind of like driving on the gravel, obviously, and there's no fence or no gate or nothing there to stop them from going through there. But I guess that's what's been going on, is that they've been pulling the Border Patrol and the cops, I guess whenever they have been going over there. They've always caught in cars, basically jumping over, and then it's full of immigrants, aliens, as I call them. So our local police department, or our sheriff department, as we call them over here in the countryside, they're called sheriffs over here. They talked to, I guess, whoever they could talk to, I guess like through the government or whatever, to see what they could do about it. And the government said that they can do something about it, but they said that it would take years to even get their foot in the door to start doing something about it. And that's where it kind of gets irritating, because the government is not doing anything special. It will not take them that long to come up with some kind of a game plan. Okay, they're not that busy. I'm sorry, government, but they're not that busy. Doing what? Stroking pickles and spying on everybody and just not caring about nothing. It's ridiculous. It's become a huge problem in the United States over the last few years, and I'm just not talking about here. I'm talking about down south, like in Texas and Arizona and all those other fucking places, right? It's become a major issue. So all that the police can do, and they got permission to go ahead and do this, because I guess they have to talk to somebody that's higher than them. But the local sheriff department is going to fork out $6,000 of their own money, and they're going to put up barriers, concrete barriers, by the rail yard where the cars are passing through. Well, why wasn't this done years ago? I mean, why was this crossing basically just abandoned and then just thought, nothing's going to happen? And see, and that's the thing now, is that the word is spreading through all the other immigrants up in Canada that want to come into the U.S. They're hearing now that this border over here is a real piece of cake to get through, because there's hardly anybody monitoring it. And now they found out that they can literally drive their cars through it, which I'm surprised they didn't figure that out 10 or 15 years ago or even sooner. It's only been in like the past year, I think, or so that they've really caught on to that they could do that. And our local sheriff's department said that in the last month, which would have been, I think, technically July, because I imagine things are a little bit behind. So, in the last month, anyway, that they have, I don't know if it's them or the Border Patrol, but they have stopped 11 people from coming through that border. 11 people in 1 month. 1 freaking month. That is insane. And then to come to find out that there's been a lot of heavy traffic through there in the last few months. Because there are people that live in that town. It's a very small town. It's even smaller than mine. But there are some regular people that live there. And they're the ones that have been calling and reporting aliens walking through their yards and walking right through the border. And then they started reporting cars driving through. The whole border system over there is fucked up and it's retarded. I've been there. It's probably been at least maybe a good year or two since I was actually last there. But the last time I was there, even the main crossing where you would actually go through with your cars, if that place was even still open, I mean, yeah, they have it closed off, but all it is a freaking pipe. That's all it is to stop the cars. That's not going to stop the people on foot from just going underneath the pipe and then they're in the U.S. Now, yes, they are going to sense off. They're going to trip cameras, trip the sensors. Oh, whoop-de-frickin-do. By the time the Border Patrol even gets there, they're already long gone. They're already in the woods. They're already in people's backyards. They're already hiding. It doesn't do any good. It needs to be fenced off. Because this is a major problem. Not just only here for us Americans or us Minnesotans, that live in this county, but all the other counties that are along the border in Minnesota, North Dakota, all the other states. There's border crossing. There's a border crossing, like I said, a half mile from here, on both sides of Minnesota and North Dakota. The one in North Dakota is active, so that's why I think they're having such a hard time getting through that border, because it is an actual active border. People do come and go. There's tons of cops and Border Patrol floating around. This one is totally abandoned. There's nobody there. But then you can go probably maybe 20 miles, not quite that, straight east of my place, and there's another border crossing. But that one, I believe, is active. I'm pretty sure it's still active. And then there's another one on the North Dakota side that... Ooh, what was that? There's another one that's only probably, again, maybe 20 miles from here on the North Dakota side. That one, I believe, is still active as well. But they're much smaller borders. So, it's, they're not huge. But they are like a secondary route into getting into Canada. If the main way, I call this one here the main way. Because this is where the interstate is. This is where all the major traffic goes into. But there are little side ones that you can go into and get into Canada that way. If you happen to be closer to them in that, like if your house happens to be closer that way, in Canada or whatever, right? So, you're not going to travel all the way here when you live way over there, So, but I call that one the main border because it is, to me, it's the main one because it's most amount of traffic, the biggest one out of all of them, and very heavily active. And there's tons of cops everywhere. So, but it's just the fact that all that the sheriffs can really do is put up concrete barriers. Okay, now I'm not 100% against it, but it's not going to solve every problem. And the government knows this, and we know this. But what more can we do? So, the concrete barriers, they're only going to stop the cars. Okay, that's one less problem out of 15.5 billion problems that we have in this border. You want to stop this 100%, you have to fence it off, build a wall, whatever. That's the only way you're going to stop this problem, 100%. But the government doesn't want to do anything about it. Just like they're not doing anything about it down in Arizona. So, what's going on in Arizona? Well, there's people, aliens that were crossing the border. It looked like in the video, like that border was active, but yet I guess for some reason they just stormed it and then they just blew right through everybody. They were on foot, of course. And there's no way in hell that every border patrol and cop is going to catch every single one of those fuckers that sneaks across. It's just going to be humanly impossible because there's just not enough police and border patrols to stop that. So, but then I also seen in that video that there happens to be this big gap in the video. And I'll show you that, but there's a gap in the fence. Why is that there? Is that supposed to be some kind of a border crossing or something stupid like that? Fence it off. That's going to be another stinking hot spot in the next year, if it's not already a freaking hot spot. You know. And then that rancher, he was on the news, and he says that, if I can remember correctly, I think he said it's about every hour that goes by, there's at least 15 immigrants that wander through that border, or that crossing. But what really pisses him off is that they're going through his land, and then they're damaging it. So I don't know what he means by that, if they're damaging it by being on foot, which you're not going to really do a lot of damage, unless they're... I don't know. I don't really know what kind of scenario he's in, but he says that they're damaging his property.
Cartels armed with rifles allegedly crossing into Texas last weekend and still on the loose as a group of migrants tries storming a port of entry on a bridge yesterday in Brownsville.
All right, miles away in Arizona, President Biden was busy pushing his climate agenda instead of visiting the border, which I hear is close, as Congress heard testimony on the growing crisis.
Tons of illegal drugs have flowed from Mexico into the United States, where they are hollowing out communities and killing record numbers of our fellow citizens.
Our southern border is the largest crime scene in the country.
And it's a lie coming out of Washington. And you can get anybody and anything across that border whenever you want to do it. We live it.
That firsthand testimony coming from a fourth-generation Arizona cattle rancher, John Ladd. You saw him in that video, and here he is live with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. So, John, why was it important for you to go and tell your story there and talk about what you're seeing on your ranch?
Well, I'm a fourth-generation cattle rancher down here, and I was pretty impressed that they decided that they wanted to talk to me and our sheriff that how bad it is.
And it is bad, and you know it. And, as it turns out, none of the Democrats showed up. It was all Republicans. But, John, we know that when the migrants come across your property, there's always damage. But do you feel like you are safe in your own house?
Well, yeah. We take care of our own safety. We've got Border Patrol and Sheriff, but we're used to it. That's the problem. That's the sad part about it. But we're not afraid. But we'll take care of any problem around our house.
So, John, put in perspective how bad it is at the border and how disappointed perhaps you are that the President of the United States didn't think it was necessary for him to go down yesterday.
Well, we're getting about 15 people an hour, illegals an hour through our ranch.
Wow.
Border Patrol has been hamstrung. They're doing desk jobs for other stations, illegals coming. And yeah, I think it's deliberate from Biden to change the demographics of America. Let all these illegals come, and then they're going to let them vote here, I bet.
Yeah, John, how close is your ranch to the border?
Well, our south fence is the border, and we live about 1.25 miles from the international
And you
boundary.
said yesterday you don't expect any change with this administration, right?
No, it's getting worse every day. But we're losing Border Patrol. The ones that we have here, they make them do paperwork. We don't have anybody patrolling the border. We got 3 or 4 agents, Horse Patrol maybe. But it gets worse every day with this guy.
Yeah, John, if this guy, the president, the big guy, were to drop by your house and you could tell him one thing about your situation, what would it be?
I'd tell him he's an idiot, that he is ruining America.
Right.
Okay.
I'd like to push back, but I can't. Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Sorry you have to deal with that.
That's probably why the president's not going to drop by.
Right.
This is why elections matter. You've got to go vote.
Especially in Arizona. There's only one party that seems to care about the border. Although growing number of
Democrats didn't even show up.
a lot of Democrats are beginning to express disdain because it's poisoning cities. Look what's happening in New York, the state of Massachusetts, Chicago, overwhelmed with illegal immigration.
Now, if they're driving cars on it, and it happens to be a wet, rainy day or something, then yeah, I could definitely see that. But so I don't know exactly what's going on over there, like, you know, for him having damaged property. But you know that something's going on, and it's not good. So, but yeah, he was kind of putting the government down, and then one of the news guys actually asked the rancher if Joe Biden ever stopped at his ranch to talk to him, what would you say to him? Well, the rancher said that he would tell him that he's an idiot and that he's ruining America. True. See, this is what really pisses me off, is that Biden knows about this problem. But on that day that there happened to be this, meeting that he knew about well in advance, he was out fucking signing paperwork, I think, for some kind of environment project. Who the fuck cares about the environment, for crying out loud? We have bigger problems than a dead tree in my backyard, okay? Trees are not important. The environment's not important. We'll worry about the environment when we're not having to worry about every stinking thing else. Let's get these aliens under control and let's get them out of this fucking country. And like he even said too, that they're most likely going to be allowed to stay here, and then they're going to become voting machines, and they're going to vote for idiots. And I think that the government likes that, because they're basically just voting for anybody, because they know. I think that they know that we know that we're not going to vote for idiots. But I don't think it really matters who votes on which party, because they're just idiots. Every president that we've had are idiots. Donald Trump was the worst one out of all of them. But Joe Biden is not far behind. Okay? And I understand that there's people out there that love Joe Biden and there's people out there that love Donald Trump. But you got to understand that they're not actually getting anything done. They're sitting there saying, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. They don't do it, though. I don't even know if any president really can do anything about it. All they can do is just sit there and talk about it. Because from what I hear, is that you have to go through a higher court to even get things approved, even if you're a president. So why we have a president, I don't really know. Why isn't the Congress, or whoever is the top bitch, they might as well just be the presidents, because they're the ones that get final say-so in it. So there's no sense in even having a president. Donald Trump wanted to build the wall for down south, to stop all the aliens from coming in over there. Okay, he wanted Mexico to pay for that. Not a half bad idea. But then the money started becoming a problem. Well, who's going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for it? Donald Trump saying that Mexico should pay for it. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, how about this? Let's not worry about the fucking money right now, and let's just get it done. Okay? Let's get it done. And then we worry about the money. You know? I mean, every time we want to get something done over here, it's money this, money that. Let's get it done and we'll worry about the money afterwards. You know what the fucking problem is. Okay? You know what the problem is. So, and I think the only reason why the U.S. don't want to pay for it is because then they would have to turn around and then up our taxes, you know, land taxes, yearly taxes, things that you do, I guess, for whatever, if you're actually working, whatever. There's more money they got to take out of your paycheck to help pay for this. I'm pretty sure most of America would actually be okay with that, you know, as long as we knew that it was for our safety. You know. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But then again, the government should just realize, too, it's like, well, hey, you know, people's lives are at risk. This is costing us money. We're getting sick and tired of getting phone calls and yada, 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 and shit like this, you know. It's like, just get it done then. You know? Let's just get it done so that we don't have to worry about it anymore. But I think that, in a way, the government wants them to come here because they become great voting machines later on. I've always been told that when people cross borders illegally, they get sent back to where they come from. But then I'm also hearing that a lot of them are not getting kicked back. They're staying here in America because supposedly they're looking for a better life. Well, they're not getting it here in America. They're getting a free life. That's what they're getting. They're getting a free life. Why? They get a nice house. They get a nice car. They get a nice wife. They have a bunch of kids. And we're paying for that. We're paying for that. That ain't right. They don't ever have to work a day in their life. As long as they vote for a piece of shit as president or mayor or governor or whatever, they can live here. So it's telling me that us regular Americans that are true Americans, our vote doesn't really matter to you. You know? So, I just don't get it. I honestly don't know why America even votes anymore. Because you know that we're going to get outvoted anyway, because now there's more freaking aliens living here than there are Americans. You know, and there's so much wrong with this country already, but let's just keep feeding the fucking fire. You know, it's like, when will it finally click in your stupid skull that, hey, there actually is a problem here, and we need to actually just do something about it? I mean, there's been so many mass shootings and stuff like that, which is, you know, probably not really related to this, but how do we know that they're not the ones causing it? Maybe they're the ones that are brainwashing other people, you know? And then we don't know what these aliens are going to be like. Yeah, sure, most of them may be innocent. They are truly looking for a better life. But then you're going to get, you know, that one person that's going to become a fucking psychopath, and he's going to go running around blowing everybody away. We don't need that here, and we don't need that here in this kind of a small town either. You know? It's ridiculous. I didn't realize that we had to start packing heat and fencing off our land to just protect ourselves. I feel like I have to spend, you know, I might as well say thousands of dollars. I would have to build a fence, put a fence around my property. You know, it would have to be at least 10 feet tall. Barbed wire on the frickin' top. You might as well call it a frickin' prison at this point. All this would have to be done to just keep my family safe and my property safe. And then the same thing at the farm too. I'd have to put up a fence there. That's going to cost even more because there's more land there, you know. Now obviously we would only be fencing off, like, you know, the pastures and stuff like that where it's main property for us. The hay fields, obviously we're not going to do anything with that because it's out there, so it doesn't really matter. It's all what's inside the dike. That all would have to get fenced off. That could cost $50,000 or more. You know, I didn't realize that we had to do this. I have to pay out of my pocket to protect my family when it should be the government realizing that the borders are an issue. A fucking pipe is not going to stop anybody from crossing it. You can't have a gaping hole in the fence and not think that nobody's not going to walk through it, because they are. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what the government thinks. The government just thinks that nothing's going to happen because they're blind to it. They have blinders on to reality, or they don't give a fuck. You know, or again, they want them here because they like that farmer says, they'll become great voting machines. They'll vote for idiots. They'll vote for anybody just to have a free place to live, paid at my expense. You know, it's ridiculous. It's like, come on. When are you gonna fucking, you know, stop sucking dick and realizing it? But I just don't think that the government cares. And they never have, and they never will. I mean, in my opinion, it's pretty fucking sad that my local police department has to fork out $6,000 in concrete barriers to stop traffic from crossing the border. Now, this should have been done years ago. They should have just built a fence, you know, and been done with it. It would not be that hard to build a fence there and have it go over the tracks, you know, and then continue on. Okay, how would you let the trains through if you fenced it off? Well, obviously there would have to be a gate there, and there would have to be somebody there to monitor the gates. Now, of course, the gates would be locked. The thing is that trains come and go so much there because it's a main route for this part of the country and part of Canada. It's their main route. So, yeah, there would have to always be somebody there to unlock the gate, open the gate, and stand there. You don't open the fucking gate and then take off and just leave it abandoned while the train goes through. There has to be somebody there even while the train is going through. And then as soon as the train is done crossing, either into the US or into Canada, doesn't matter which way they're going, as soon as the train clears the gate, you slam the gate shut and you lock the bitch back up. That would cost money, I get it. But that's what's going to solve our problems. You know, let's not worry about the money. Let's just get it done. And then we'll worry about the money problem. You know? It's like all they think about is money. Yes, I know things cost a lot to do. What's more important, safety or money? I didn't realize that money was such a... to me, I feel like they care more about money. To them, money's more important. You know? Like, it's ridiculous. Money this, money that. Let's just get it done. Let's just get it done, America. Let's stop fucking around. Stop grabbing your dick. You know, just stop it. Let's get it done. You know, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. I'm blown away by just hearing that a border that's a half a mile from my town has had 11 people cross it in just the last month. Never mind the last year, you know. And then, was it last year? I can't remember. I think I made a video on it, but it was either last year or the year before that. I had an alien go through my woods. He was walking through my land in the woods there. I had a trail camera put up because I've been having trouble with other trespassers, but that has since slowed down to basically a crawl. So, but I still put them up because now I wonder, okay, yeah, I get the occasional trespasser, which is just a normal person, a kid. But now I'm wondering, how many fucking aliens are walking through my woods every year? So now I'm putting up cameras regardless. I have another brand new camera that I want to put up, but I've been saving it to replace the main camera that I have at the farm. And I was going to put it up, well then the memory card fucked up. I couldn't reformat it, so I lost that memory card. So I can't even test my brand new camera because it takes a different style SD card, and I only want to run the 32 gigs, not the 16 gigs, because I don't think I'd have enough space. Since that camera is on a road, there's not heavy traffic there, but there's a good amount of traffic. So, but you know, and then again, I have that camera put up at the farm at the main road. Okay, well that was again done because somebody ran the mailbox over. At the time, we didn't have a camera there, but then we put one there. You'd be surprised the shit that I'm catching with that camera being there now. Yeah, there's the occasional driver going by, but you know, I've seen people walk up and down that road all the time on the cameras, but they're not aliens. They're just regular people out for a walk. But it makes me question, though, how many times would we actually see an alien walk down that road? I call it the farm road because our farm is on that road. How many aliens would actually risk walking on that road? I don't know if they really would because it takes you into town. And I don't think they really want anything to do with town. Unless it's wintertime and it's freezing out and they're about to freeze. Well, if they're stupid enough to walk in this crap weather in the wintertime, which, you know, can get down to minus 60 Fahrenheit, by the way, at times, they freeze down. It's ridiculous. And then, what was it? I don't remember what. I can't remember if they were already I think they were just before crossing the border. So they were still up in Canada, but they were only maybe a mile or two from the border, or at least the crossing line. There was a family. I think it was a husband and a wife, and I think 2 girls. They froze down. And what do I mean by that? They got killed by the cold because it was fucking minus 40 out, and they weren't wearing the proper winter gear to survive this. You're stupid for doing that. I mean, you should fucking realize that it's winter time. You're not going to get to just walk around in a tank top and shorts. You'd freeze down within seconds. Over here, you got to have clothes on you that make you look like you've gained 500 pounds to survive in these type of winter conditions. Okay? And then this spring, a farmer seen a dead body in his ditch, because he owns farmland out there, right up to the borderline there, and they went into their field, I guess, to get ready to plant a crop, and then they noticed this big black thing laying in the ditch. So then they walked up to it, and here it was a fucking alien, all dressed up in black, obviously to try to, I guess, whatever. Well, he froze down too. But they, from doing results on him, you know, like testing him and whatever, they said that he's been there for at least most of that winter. It's crazy to fucking think that I'm doing my daily thing all winter long, moving snow, doing stuff at the farm, and there's some dead body like 2 miles from my place. It's ridiculous. It's fucking crazy. But he froze down. You know, because it was too cold. But that's their fault. Because they're crossing in the wintertime. And I don't know if they're thinking, well, if it's colder out, maybe there'll be less border patrol walking around or driving around, whatever. No, they're always going to be constantly driving around. That's a non-stop thing. 24/7, 7 days a week. They're out. So, it doesn't matter if it's wintertime or the summertime. You will get caught at some point. So, but it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, I'm blown away. I'm completely speechless to when I read that fucking paper saying that in the last month there were 11 people that crossed that border illegally, and they're only like a half a mile from my house. It's crazy. Now, obviously, I don't see all that traffic because I live in town, so I have things blocking my view. You know, but if I had a drone, I can guarantee you, if I had a drone, sent it over there, and while most drones can only last for about 20 minutes, so if I left it up there for 20 minutes, I bet you I'd probably see a car coming across. It's ridiculous. Absolutely unnecessary. But we're not the only ones having problems too, because you look at, like I said, that guy down in Arizona or wherever the fuck he's at, that farmer, they're going through his land like it's nothing. You know. It's stupid. They're all aliens and they're crossing illegally, but now they're knowing that they really can't do anything. They can't do anything if they come in large numbers, because they know that there's not enough cops, border patrol, whatever. The government knows that. And then they come to find out a lot of border patrols that should be out patrolling, they're stuck in an office doing paperwork of a suspect that they had arrested earlier. Their job is not to do paperwork. Their job is to arrest the guy and then get right back out there. Leave his statement and then leave. You know? It's crazy. I'm fucking blown away by this craziness of our government system and our borders. Our borders are the weakest link of this country. And if we don't act fast, something bad's going to happen to us. Do we need a repeat of 9/11? I guess we do, but I guess we didn't learn anything from 9/11. Oh, well, we kind of did. We beefed up security at the borders. You know, beefed up security at the airports. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You didn't do a hell of a lot at the border because they're still coming through. All you did was just make it harder for us innocent people that just want to get into Canada and do what we got to fucking do. You know, we have to have stacks of paperwork now to get into Canada. Last time I was in Canada, I was just a little kid, and you only needed two pieces of paper. Now you need a fucking binder this thick to get into Canada. That's ridiculous. You know, like I said, I haven't been to Canada since I was a little kid. And I kind of would like to go back, you know. But you have to have all this paperwork. And that takes time, that costs me money. And I'm not going to spend my money on that when I have better things to do with it. So, what do? You know? So, but this is just getting to be ridiculous. I'm sorry, but it is. I mean, I get that the cops can only do so much, you know, but the fact is that the government should be stepping in right away, getting it done, and stopping this from becoming a problem. Okay, sure, put the concrete barriers up, it'll only stop the cars. Okay, I can get out of the car, leave the car, and hop over it, okay? I'm in the U.S., or in this case, I'm in Canada. Like, it's ridiculous. So, I don't know. It's crazy. But I guess to my local sheriff department or whoever, if you guys are watching my stupid videos, if you're looking for a cameraman to shoot some videos of your work, hit me up. Let me know. But it will be going on YouTube, just as a record, you know, to prove that this is not going to work. It'll stop the cars. That's about it. I can get out of my car and hop it. And I could be up in Canada within probably 5 minutes. You know, if I had a friend that lived in that town, I could take my Blazer over there, leave the Blazer at his place, hop the border, go into Canada, go to a local bar, get fucking wasted, jump back across the border, and then spend the night at my friend's place. The Border Patrol would never even know what happened. I could wear all black. They would never fucking know. That's the problem. You want to fix the problem, build the fence, build the wall, so nobody can cross it. Okay? Simple. Cost money? Yes. But money should not be the problem right now. It needs to be getting done. You need to build the wall. And then worry about the money. And you're just gonna take the money from us anyway. So it might as well just be put to good use. You know. So, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So, but yeah, anyways, guys, I guess I'm gonna take off. Just wanted to give you guys a little update to that, and yeah, just kind of disgusting. So, but what are you gonna do? So, but like I said, I'll share that video, and it's a problem. It's just like it is here too. And for all we know, there's probably drugs coming through, but we just don't see it. So, but we don't know. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.